Not too long ago, I ended up reaching 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. This is a phenomenal milestone for me, and I'm really grateful for all of you that have supported me all this way. To celebrate, I decided I would briefly analyze 3 popular creepy legends that have been requested to me a lot: the Hanging Munchkin from The Wizard of Oz, the Sounds from Hell, and SONEE. Let's begin with the Hanging Munchkin myth. The Wizard of Oz is a pretty iconic old movie that a lot of people loved. Despite this, some pretty controversial stuff happened on the set. For example, there was a scene where Judy Garland, the girl who played Dorothy, kept giggling, which messed up the scene. To get her to stop, one of the directors pulled her aside and smacked her across the face. One of the most unsettling incidents that are rumored to have happened on the set would be the myth of the Munchkin who hanged himself. Take a look at this clip, which is taken from the end of The Wizard of Oz.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz. Here he is, the Wizard of a Wiz, if ever a Wiz there was. If ever a Wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're out to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
If you look in the background, you can see what appears to be a person hanging from one of the trees. According to rumors, this was one of the Munchkins that hanged themselves. The reason for hanging themselves varies from not getting the role they wanted to being upset that one of the female Munchkins didn't like them. Regardless of why they committed suicide, it is pretty chilling to see this clip here. This clip may be able to be explained away though. During the filming of this movie, the set was obviously inside, so to give the atmosphere more of an outside feel, some animals were borrowed from the Los Angeles Zoo to wander around the set. The supposed hanging munchkin we are seeing is actually just a crane that was on the set that spread out its wings. This became pretty apparent when a remastered version of the movie came out, and this is what the scene looked like in the remastered version.
Here he is, the Wizard of a Wiz, if ever a Wiz there was. If ever a Wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're out to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
So as you can see here, it becomes much more obvious that there was only a crane here, and not a hanging munchkin. Yet still, that did not convince a lot of people. The remastered version still does look a lot different from the original version that we saw. The bird takes up much more room than the munchkin, and the bird actually touches the ground, whereas the munchkin does not. Because of this, many people believe that the bird was just a CGI bird that was put into the remastered version to cover up the suicide. But what if I were to tell you that the remastered version was not the one being tampered with, but actually the original one was tampered with? You might be surprised to hear that in many of the old versions posted online, the crane was always there from the beginning. In fact, most of the videos that were posted on YouTube that show the hanging munchkin actually came from a now removed YouTube channel called Suicidal Munchkin. Take a closer look at the clip with the hanging munchkin again. On the sides of the trees, you can see something outstretched from each of them. As we know, in the version with the crane, it stretches out its wings, which reach to about the same areas. This would indicate that the video showing the hanging munchkin was edited to take out the crane, but whoever edited it didn't take out the wings that outstretched to the sides. This can be proven even further when you see a video posted by Radioactive Since 1990, where he actually buys a version of The Wizard of Oz that is older than the one posted by Suicidal Munchkin. He shows us that scene of the movie, and alas, the crane was always there. And like I just said, this was not the remastered version. It's older than the one posted by Suicidal Munchkin. I'm not sure what further proof we need. Furthermore, there are just some common sense things that should make it pretty obvious that a munchkin did not actually hang themselves on the set. For one, the munchkin can be seen very clearly, yet the actors never broke character or acted like anything was weird at all. It's also hard to believe that none of the workers on the set noticed the munchkin was there. In addition, all the forest scenes in the movie were filmed before the munchkin scenes, so there would not have even been any munchkins on set. In the Christian religion, you either go to heaven or hell when you die. There really isn't much tangible evidence of these realms, if they do exist, but some people believe that sounds from hell occurrence is evidence of these. According to the story, there were geologists working in Siberia who drilled a 9-mile or 14-kilometer hole into the ground. They measured the temperature inside the hole, and it was 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,100 degrees Celsius. Finally, they lowered a heat-sensitive microphone into the hole, and to their astonishment, they heard the screams of thousands of souls suffering in hell. This is the supposed recording of the audio they had. This occurrence would mainly be used by religious organizations to claim they had scientific proof of hell and hopefully convert more people to Christianity. The story is actually not true, however, it is based off a true event. In 1984, there was an article published in Scientific American that described an experimental well in Russia's Kola Peninsula. The well actually only reached 12 kilometers, not 14, and the temperature was only 180 degrees Fahrenheit, or 82 degrees Celsius, and not 2,000 degrees. And they never recorded any screams from hell. All of that was completely made up. So that just leaves us with what the sound recording that we just heard was. A YouTuber named Moscow Jade posted a pretty thorough debunking of the audio, where he identified areas of the audio that were just repeats that were copied and pasted, which would hint the audio was fabricated by someone.
Now let's go to the next segment that looks similar and give it a listen. Alright, let's ping pong them, see if they sound the same. There's one thing I hate about people in hell, it's that they seem to be very repetitive.
He pretty much concluded that the Sounds from Hell audio file consisted of screams from the movie Barren Blood layered over each other. Simple as that. If hell does exist, then this audio file is not proof of it. For our final legend, we will take a look at SONEE. According to this legend, a girl named SONEE painted this self-portrait, scanned it, uploaded it online, and then committed suicide. As a result, this painting is supposed to be cursed, and whoever looks at it is supposed to fall into such a terrible depression that they end up taking their life, just like SONEE did. Furthermore, people claim that if you stare at the picture for long enough, you can see her facial expression start to change into a more distressed look. One of the reasons this legend needs to be somewhat known is because a lot of people claim to truly feel hopeless when they looked at it, and a lot of people also claim they swore they could see the face change when they stared at it for too long. Of course, this legend is also not true. The painting was not actually created by a suicidal girl. It was created by a Thai artist named Robert Chang using a computer program. She was a character for a screenplay he was working on called Tellurian Sky, and her name was Princess Rue. You can find out more about Chang's creation and his screenplay on his website. Regardless, all the people who believe they feel depressed and hopeless after seeing the picture, or claim to see it morph, is just a placebo effect in action since they are expecting these things to happen. That's why legends very similar to this are pretty common. Hopefully, most of you enjoyed this video. Once again, thank you so much for helping me get to 200,000 subscribers. I know YouTube isn't really in a great state right now, but I'm really hoping together we can grow a lot more than we already have. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.